force yourself to develop good habits. Start small and consistent. Begin with small, manageable actions to build momentum. Consistency is key. Focus on repeating the habit daily, even in small doses, to create lasting change. Create triggers and cues. Link your new habit to an existing routine or external cue, e.g., brushing teeth after waking up or going for a walk after lunch to reinforce the behavior without much thought. Set clear goals. Be specific about what you want to achieve and break it down into actionable steps. Measurable goals help you track progress and maintain motivation. Use accountability and rewards. Share your goals with others or use habit tracking tools to stay accountable. Reward yourself for sticking to your habits, reinforcing positive behavior with satisfaction. Commit to discipline over motivation. Motivation fluctuates, but discipline and routine help push through when you don't feel like it. Force yourself to act, even when it's hard, knowing it gets easier over time. When developing good habits, starting small and staying consistent is one of the most effective strategies. Many people set out with grand ambitions, hoping to make significant changes overnight, but this often leads to frustration and burnout. Instead, focusing on incremental progress allows you to adapt gradually, making the habit more sustainable in the long term. I think of habit formation like building a muscle. If you try to lift too much weight immediately, you risk injury and discouragement. By starting with a lighter load, or in the case of habits, a smaller, more manageable action, you can build strength and endurance over time. For instance, if your goal is to start exercising regularly, instead of committing to an hour-long workout every day right from the beginning, start with a 10-minute walk. This small action feels achievable, and once you get used to doing it consistently, you can gradually increase the duration and intensity of your workouts. Another reason to start small is that it reduces resistance. When a task feels too big or daunting, you are more likely to procrastinate or avoid it altogether. Small habits, on the other hand, are easy to incorporate into your day because they don't require much time or mental energy. This lowers the psychological barrier, making it easier to take that first step, which is often the hardest part of any new routine. For example, if your goal is to read more, don't start with a goal of reading a book a week. Instead, set a goal to read just 1 or 2 pages a day. Over time, this simple habit can grow into a much larger practice. Consistency is crucial because the brain thrives on routine. When you do something repeatedly, it begins to feel automatic, and you rely less on willpower to get it done. Over time, the habit becomes ingrained in your daily life, and it no longer feels like a chore. The more frequently and regularly you practice a habit, the more likely it is to stick because repetition strengthens the neural pathways associated with that behavior. Creating triggers and cues is a powerful way to establish good habits, as it leverages the brain's natural tendency to associate actions with specific contexts. By identifying and linking a new habit to an existing behavior or an external reminder, you can make the habit automatic, reducing the need for willpower or conscious thought. The human brain is designed to recognize patterns and respond to environmental signals, which is why cues can be so effective in prompting action. For example, if you always brush your teeth after eating breakfast, your mind and body come to expect that behavior at that particular moment. Over time, it becomes automatic. You don't even have to think about brushing your teeth. It just happens as part of your routine. This same principle can be applied to any new habit you want to form. To successfully establish a cue, the key is to attach the desired habit to an activity or event that you already perform regularly, or something in your environment that naturally occurs every day. This is often referred to as habit stacking, where you take an existing behavior and add the new habit right after or before it. For example, if you want to start meditating every day, you could decide to do it right after you have your morning coffee. Your morning coffee acts as a trigger. Every time you finish your cup, it signals that it's time to meditate. Since you're already used to drinking coffee daily, it becomes much easier to remember and commit to the meditation practice. Alternatively, cues can also be environmental. Setting up physical reminders in your surroundings can make it more likely that you'll engage in the behavior you're trying to adopt. If your goal is to exercise more frequently, keeping your workout clothes and shoes visible in your bedroom or living room can serve as a visual cue to remind you to work out. These small prompts reduce the mental friction involved in starting the task because they make the habit hard to ignore. You see the shoes, and they immediately remind you of your intention to exercise. Setting clear goals is essential when trying to develop good habits because it provides direction and structure to your efforts. Without a clear objective in mind, it's easy to become unfocused or inconsistent, making it harder to sustain the behavior over time. Clear goals give you something specific to work toward and help you measure your progress along the way. When setting a goal, it's important to be as precise as possible. Vague goals, such as "I want to get in shape" or "I want to read more," don't provide a clear plan of action. Instead, break those goals down into specific, actionable steps. For example, rather than just saying "I want to get in shape," a more precise goal would be "I will go to the gym 3 times a week for 30 minutes." This goal defines what you'll do, how often you'll do it, and for how long. It transforms a broad intention into a concrete plan that you can follow. Having a clear goal also helps you stay focused and avoid distractions. Life is full of competing demands, and without a defined target, it's easy to get sidetracked by other priorities or to put off your new habit. When you know exactly what you're trying to achieve, it becomes easier to allocate time and resources to that habit. For example, if you set a goal to read 20 pages of a book every evening before bed, you'll be more inclined to make time for it, knowing you have a specific target to hit. Without that target, it's easy to say, "I'll read later," and then let other activities fill your time instead. Additionally, clear goals help you measure progress, which is crucial for maintaining motivation. When you know what you're aiming for, you can track how far you've come and whether you're getting closer to achieving your objective. This sense of progress is motivating in itself and reinforces the habit because you can see tangible results. For instance, if your goal is to save $100 each month, seeing your savings account grow over time is a powerful reminder that your efforts are paying off, making you more likely to continue the habit. Using accountability and rewards is an effective way to reinforce good habits and ensure that you stay on track. When we try to develop new habits, it's easy to lose motivation or let distractions get in the way. By incorporating accountability and rewards into your habit-building process, you create external and internal systems that encourage consistency and provide positive reinforcement for your efforts. Accountability is a powerful tool because it taps into our natural desire to meet expectations, whether they are our own or others. When you make a commitment to someone else, you feel a greater sense of responsibility to follow through. This can be especially helpful during the early stages of habit formation, when the behavior may not yet feel automatic or easy. One common way to create accountability is by sharing your goal with a friend, family member, or colleague. For example, if your goal is to exercise more regularly, telling a friend that you plan to go to the gym 3 times a week can increase the likelihood that you'll actually do it. Knowing that someone else is aware of your commitment creates a form of social pressure that encourages you to stick to your plan. Another effective strategy is to find an accountability partner, someone who is also working on a similar habit or goal. This creates a sense of mutual support, where both parties check in on each other's progress. For instance, if you and a friend both want to start eating healthier, you could agree to share daily updates on your meals or even cook together. Having someone who is going through the same experience can make the process feel less isolating and more motivating. You'll be more inclined to keep up with the habit because you know someone else is doing the same and counting on you for support. This type of accountability fosters a sense of camaraderie and can make challenging habits feel more manageable. When it comes to developing good habits, relying on discipline rather than motivation is a crucial strategy for long-term success. Motivation is a fleeting emotion. It can be strong at certain moments but disappear entirely when circumstances change or challenges arise. Discipline, on the other hand, is a consistent, reliable force that helps you stick to your goals even when you don't feel motivated. By committing to discipline, you create a structure that ensures you follow through on your habits regardless of how you feel in the moment. Motivation is often tied to external factors like excitement, inspiration, or a desire for immediate results. In the beginning stages of forming a new habit, motivation might be high because the novelty of the goal fuels your enthusiasm. For instance, starting a new workout routine or learning a new skill can feel exciting at first, and you might find it easy to commit to it when the idea is fresh. However, this initial burst of motivation tends to wane as the novelty wears off or as obstacles arise. Life gets busy, unexpected events occur, or you simply lose interest, and relying solely on motivation becomes unsustainable. When this happens, people often abandon their habits because they wait for motivation to return rather than pushing through with discipline. Discipline, in contrast, is about creating and following a routine or system regardless of how motivated you feel on any given day. It's about showing up and doing the work even when you're tired, busy, or simply not in the mood. By committing to discipline, you take control of your actions rather than being at the mercy of fluctuating emotions. Discipline is like a muscle. It strengthens the more you use it. Each time you choose discipline over motivation, you reinforce the habit of consistency, which becomes easier over time. One key aspect of discipline is setting a routine and sticking to it. When you create a schedule for your habits, it takes the guesswork out of when and how you'll engage in the behavior. You no longer have to decide each day whether or not you'll follow through on your goal, because it's already built into your routine. For example, if you want to start writing every day, discipline means committing to a specific time and place to write, no matter what. Whether you're feeling inspired or not, you sit down at your desk and start writing because it's part of your daily routine. Over time, this commitment to a schedule makes the behavior feel automatic and removes the need to rely on motivation.